Hello guys, Sean here, and today we are talking about PAX East 2015. I normally do 3 videos. I normally do one each day, and I will explain the stuff on me in a moment. I normally do 3 videos, one each day, recapping, what I did and what I saw, what I played. But I didn't really play games this year so much. I played Overwatch, which we will talk about, and I played a few other things, but not too much. The show floor didn't interest me a lot. Like there's a lot of indie stuff and a lot of things that weren't huge. Oculus, which I really wanted to do, I didn't actually end up doing because the line, I can't be bothered. I'm sorry. I believe in VR. I don't need to see VR. And so now to explain the attire, which I will take some of it off, especially the glasses, because I have a board over here with the things written. I know, giving away my production secrets here. But I can barely read it through these because they have little holes in them, but they're not like completely clear. It's like sunglasses, but worse. So these are Overwatch sunglasses, which they gave you for standing in line. On my back here, I will try to. I'm cropping the camera, so I know if I turn, you won't be able to see everything. Hang on, I'm sitting on my cape. This is my YouTube cape. Hopefully that's in the crop. I'll try to raise it up a bit. Okay, this is not working. But this is my YouTube cape from the YouTube panel that I went to. Optic J hosted the panel. I'm going to take my cape off because I'm sitting on it and it's going to either be ripped or pull my neck. I'm probably going to hang it on the wall as sort of a YouTube banner. There's the cape. But okay, I'm back. So that's my YouTube cape over there. I'm probably going to hang it as a banner, maybe right over here where I have my PAX magnet set that I have. I have my glasses. This is my Bosskey shirt. We will talk about Bosskey a bit and what they did, and we do have some audio from that. We got our Bosskey iPhone case, which doesn't fit my iPhone 6 Plus, but nonetheless, if I get a 6 or something, it will fit. Vainglory pins. So for the man out there who asked me to go to the Vainglory booth, I did. This is all they gave me. Sorry if you wanted something more. And an Overwatch pin for playing Overwatch. So now to remove the sunglasses so that I can see the damn. Actually, no, I should put them on because then it doesn't feel like I don't feel conscious about looking at the camera like with my eyes because you can't tell where I'm looking anyway. I could be over there. So. Anyway, let's start. Day 1. First, I used the Steam controller. That is the first thing I did at the event, other than buy Gunners, which are over there. I did buy Gunner glasses. I have not worn them. I don't know. But I happened to buy Gunner glasses. I was at the booth, and the guy was like, hey, you looking at glasses? I was like, kinda. And he was like, oh, put these on. And I was like, okay. He was like, you want to buy them? I was like, sure. So, Steam controller. The new one that they showed at GDC this week with the 2 touch trackpad things, the 1 analog stick, the 4 like Xbox, PlayStation face buttons, 2 normal triggers and stuff on the back, and then 2 panels on the back of the controller, similar to Scuff. They're like on the inside of the handles. Overall, the game we were playing was Towerfall Ascension? You know the game. You shoot like arrows. You have a little arrow fight. We were playing like a one-on-one arrow fight, and that didn't really take advantage of the controller, necessarily. Like, we didn't actually use the touch thingies, although I did play around with them a little bit. I think the next day they were showing Dying Light on it, but I did not get back in line. However, the only thing I would say is I thought it was a bit oddly shaped. I like everything about it. I'm not sure how well the touch things work for shooters. I've heard that it can be a bit inaccurate, but it does do this, like, tactile vibration thing to like kind of steer you back into the middle, which I thought was kind of cool. Like it's hard to explain, but you'll feel it like when you use the controller. I like it. It's a kind of a weird shape. Like it's like indented where the triggers are. I don't know where I cropped this so that the whole room is not in the shot, and I don't know where the crop is because I didn't do it yet. So I'm sorry if I keep like doing the same hand motion twice in the same play, like in a different height, because I'm not sure quite where it is. I also have a gigantic t-shirt. Just wanted to shout them out. They gave me a t-shirt because we let a guy back in the building who worked at the booth because he was trapped in the cold because he went out to like smoke, and I guess the door doesn't, it like opens to go out, but it won't let him back in even though it's like a sliding door. Anyway, that was a weird digression. But Steam controller, I'm interested. I'll probably buy one even if I don't end up using it for that much, just because I think it's cool kind of in its own way. So we're going day 1 through 3 in order of which I did things. So towards the end, we will get to things like Overwatch and Bosskey. Towards the beginning, we will not. Hopefully below, I will put the timestamps of different parts of the video, so you can just skip around if you want. I'll do it for the big things, obviously. I'm not going to put it for every fucking detail, because that'll take me a year. Then I went to a panel about UI and, the people who make UI and stuff about UI in games. It started off like a very, PowerPoint presentation about the different types of UI. And then they started talking more and more, and, people, started asking questions and stuff, and they were very funny. Shout-outs to the people on there. I can't remember nor say, I think, some of the names, but there was a lady from Naughty Dog, who, worked on The Last of Us and stuff, so she's obviously the easiest to shout out off the top of my head. The other ones, I think, said worked at ArenaNet, which I think they worked on Guild Wars 2, and stuff, but shout out to all of them. It was a very good panel. Enjoyed it. Learned more about UI than I thought I would. Had more fun in a panel about UI than I thought I would, and who knows, maybe I will try looking into doing UI. I don't know. Maybe they convinced me. They a bunch of people where they asked who is interested in doing UI for games and stuff, and a bunch of people raised their hand. I was like, that might be more people than the world needs, but thank you anyway, everyone. Then I went to the League of Legends panel on champion design. They talked about Braum and how he originally was an engineer champion, and then he turned into Braum because things didn't really work out, and Ziggs was this other guy and stuff. A lot of interesting things about a future, how Jinx became Jinx and different things like that. They didn't really say anything new or tease anything that was unknown. The only thing they did say was that the traveling that Bard is going to do through the walls and stuff, the tunnel he builds for his teammates, was a concept originally toyed with Rek'Sai, and then it was kind of transferred over to Bard, because they still liked the idea, but they didn't think it fit Rek'Sai too well. So, because basically, Rek'Sai, I think they said the ult was going to be something like that, but then they were like, well, we want Rek'Sai's tunnels to be Rek'Sai's tunnels only for Rek'Sai, so it doesn't really make sense for the teammates. But not too much was said there. Other than that, it was kind of just a very basic panel on a few champions, and then, people asked a bunch of questions and stuff. So, moving on to day 2, because the other stuff in day 1, I only played one other game. It was, I think it's called Force 2. I can't even remember. It's a card game with action. They call it an action card game or something. I wasn't that thrilled with it. I did buy the beta key from them, but I have not received said beta key, so, okay, I don't know. Maybe I'll never get it. Who knows? My only issue with it is, obviously I didn't play a ton of it, because you can only play this little part. But basically what happens is you kill, the enemies in the level, and then you draw a card. And the card's plus health, or, plus this. And so it felt more like just getting perks or drawing power-ups than, a card game. I have my own theory about what an action card game would look like, and I'm not going to give it away, because maybe I'll make it, and I'll be rich. Probably not, but maybe I would. So, moving on to day 2. Day 2 was more about, I went to a bunch of panels. I didn't actually attend any of the show floor. Actually, I did go down and do the Vainglory thing, but for the most part, I started to feel really sick Saturday, and a good portion of Sunday morning, I was really fucking feeling sick, so I felt like shit all of Saturday. And so I just wanted to go to panels, sit in the corner like this, like I was gonna die, and just listen to people babble, because being all, tight with all the people on the show floor, and even playing a game, I probably would have thrown up. I did not feel good. I don't know what happened to me, but I was about to die. So, the first panel I went to was about the importance of game dev live streaming. I think it's the exact title of the panel. And there was nobody in this room, and I kind of felt bad because it was a big room, and the panel was not a bad panel, but there was just not, probably 30, 40 people maybe showed up to the panel. It was pretty empty. And they talked about how they stream the development of their games. They stream them making their game, and how more people should do it, and it helps kind of make the players understand what goes into making the games. And so when they say, why don't you just do blah 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 blah, it's so easy, Like, you can see how not easy doing blah 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 is. Like, you can't just do that. You can't just be like, oh, well, obviously we'll do this. Like, so... Like, I think there was one part about, like, shooting through a wall or something, like the bullet travels through the wall, and, like, the player's like, haha, you have a bug, and they were like, no, we coded it to do that, like, that's how we made it, and they were like, you had to code that? Like, so, players don't always understand, and by streaming the development of your game, you kind of help that. The panel was good. The games were, I think, I can't even remember which games were, Nuclear something from Vlambeer, I think is the studio name. Nuclear, it's something with a T. I think, was the other one Firehouse? They make Quip, I think is how you say the name of the game. And then they had two people on who do art. They, like, stream making the, like, art. They had, like, 3D models for Dota 2, which they put up in the Steam Workshop. So... it was an interesting panel about doing, streaming the development of your game. I kind of hope more devs do it, and I definitely, now that I know, like, I never knew about these games, like, I knew about the Dota 2, obviously, but I didn't know about their streaming, I didn't know about these people streaming that. I kind of, briefly last week, did find people streaming development of things, like, I was looking up Unreal 4, on Twitch, and I found some people messing around in it. They weren't really streaming the development of a game. Like, it wasn't like, we're a studio, and we're doing this, and then it'll be this. It was more like, hey, I'm going to show you how to make an elevator, or make a door, or something. It was more like tutorial kind of thing, but nonetheless, I did find a very similar concept of people streaming the development, using an engine and stuff on Twitch. So, you should definitely check out I will link to stuff that I'm talking about below, the actual shit, so that I should have made notes of all this, but I was trying to do this in a way that wouldn't take me forever, and it's probably taking me longer now to explain this, but I didn't want to have, like, a list of 100 things, because I don't want this video to be an hour. So, very interesting panel. The YouTube panel, as I talked about my cape, with Jay, it had the guys from Inside Gaming, who are now Funhouse, under Rooster Teeth. So it had them on, and they were talking about, leaving Machinima and going to, leaving Inside Gaming and making their own thing, and, like, how they got to YouTube, and, they came from TV, or they came from here, and came from there, and so, it was, the panel, like, the video they showed, like, they showed a couple videos, I think one from their new channel, like, that video was funny as fuck. Jay is one of the primary ways that I got partnered with Machinima. He's one of the first people I kind of spoke with way back in the day. He doesn't remember me, nor should he, but nonetheless. So I remember, and, he's part of Optic, and Optic wasn't as big as they were now, and back then, like, it was like, oh, that's that guy from Optic, but it was just that guy from Optic. It wasn't like, oh my god, that's that guy from Optic, which it is now, when it comes to, like, the Call of Duty community and, how Optic is. So, good panel, interesting. They kept on time, which is an amazing feat for a panel to pull off. Nobody ever keeps on time. Like, they all run over, and, it sucks because, more people have questions and stuff, and I know it's because they have a lot to say, and it sucks that everything's only an hour and they only have that much time, but he kept on time, so congratulations to Jay for keeping a panel on time. So, now we get to Bosskey, who I have a bunch of notes on my board here, so I'm going to try to get through each one. Bosskey, for those of you who don't know, is Cliffy B's, the guy who worked on Gears of War, helped make Gears of War. You could say made Gears of War, but I feel like it's unfair to be like, everyone else didn't work there, it was only him. Like, so, yeah, it's his new studio, Bosskey. I'm wearing their shirt that they gave me, because it's the one that fit best for this, so I did. But they're making a new arena shooter, probably similar to Quake, but not too similar to Quake, as, Cliff discussed. I did record the entire panel. I will not be posting the audio from the entire panel, like I did with DayZ a couple years ago, but I did record the audio from the panel, mostly so I could go back and listen to it, but, also I was going to maybe use some of the clips, in this video and stuff, so, but he talked about how, like, they don't want to just make Quake. Like, they, everyone thinks an arena shooter has to be this, and we're going to, do a little bit different, because if you go back and, like, you make new Quake and you change all this stuff, people will be pissed at you, but if you, you're making your own thing, it's new, you can kind of redefine what arena shooter means in people's heads. And, like, obviously there are some things that have to stay, like, you know, the fast pace and stuff, but, like, I think he spoke about, like, how there's no reloading and blah, blah, like, so there might be, like, reloading guns and stuff, and, you know, they're going to do some different things. One of the more interesting things they mentioned that's going to be using Unreal 4. They showed a trailer to us at the end. It didn't have any gameplay or any shooting or anything, but it, you know, it was like a cinematic view throughout a few of the maps in the game. But there was a brief part about Mirror's Edge, which I will try to play the audio to in about a second. But there was a part earlier in the panel where he discussed, like, he wanted to have the guy flip and do this thing, and then after he was done talking, and a little bit later on in the day, later on in the panel, the senior developer or something, like, he wasn't the art guy, he's the senior developer engineer or whatever they were calling him, was discussing, you know, first person, and he brought up Mirror's Edge, so I'll let you listen to that now.
That's all you do, right? But, you know, Mirror's Edge did a really good job of showing us that you can do a lot of cool things in first person that doesn't have to make you nauseous. It can make you feel cool, make you feel agile, and make you feel like you're moving around and you're actually controlling the world. Because the point of first person is immersion. It's supposed to put you like in the space. And there are tons of things that we can do once we let go of the fact that the game has to be like, you know, every other shooter that was made before it. You can make fast characters that can run along walls. Titanfall did that. It's cool. Everybody liked it. But that's only the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion, where you can go through video games. You just got to open your mouth and accept the fact that, you know, you never know, you can do a lot of cool, crazy stuff. And I'm holding my tongue here because I want to say a lot of things, but I can't, so I keep it chill.
And essentially, you know, to me, there was another part about Titanfall in there somewhere, and essentially to me, what might be going on is it might have a fair bit of the free running elements, but like they said, you know, Titanfall is just, it had that nice thing you can run up the wall, and that's fun, but, you know, that's all they did. Like, you can do more with that. And so I think that the mention of Mirror's Edge, the mention of flipping, the mention of running up the wall, like, there may be a fair amount of free running in this game. That's just speculation based on, you know, words I chose out of what they said, but, you know, I'm interested in where that could go, like, you know, a Dying Light, Mirror's Edge, first-person multiplayer shooter. Like, I could play that. I think that that would be fun as fuck. Overwatch, which I played, is another first-person shooter coming out, and I think that that, you know, has some of its own unique elements that were kind of interesting to me, but, like, if they both came out the same day and the other one had, like, perfect free running with, like, gun, and, you know, that's the one I'm going to choose. So, I'm very interested to see what happens with this game. It's going to be free-to-play. Cliff kind of explained what he envisions their free-to-play being like.
And I always say when it comes to monetization, I want to feel more like Disneyland, where, you know, I go in and I'm, you know, I'm having fun, and I'm eating at the Bengal barbecue, and I'm buying, you know, Olaf the Snowman and stuff, getting Mickey ears, and I'm walking out happy as hell and exhausted. But I spent a chunk of money, as opposed to Las Vegas, where, you know, people are trying to force me to spend my money and sneak me drinks and not have clocks in the casinos and everything, which is why I freaking hate that town. So when it comes to monetization, my advice, be more Disneyland than Vegas. So that's the most I can give you right now.
Which, essentially, what he said was, anything that you can have in the game, I'm going to try to direct quote as not direct quotey as I can. Like, I don't have the quote in front of me, but I'm going to try and paraphrase this in a way that's not completely awful. What he said was, you know, anything that can be unlocked, anything that gives you strength in the game, you know, that affects gameplay, will be able to be unlocked through grinding. Grinding was a word he used. I don't know what grinding means. It's just obviously playing a lot of time, but, like, you know, does it mean 2 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours? I don't know. But, you know, he doesn't want to be, like, he doesn't want an overpowered gun to be only available to purchase with cash. So it's going to be available to everyone. He wants, you know, you to be having fun and feel like you spent money while you were having fun rather than you had to spend money to have fun. This is a lot of things, a lot of games that are free-to-play say, and a lot of things, you know, don't always turn out that way. I have high hopes that he will be able to keep this the way he says it is. But, you know, free-to-play is a weird market. Like, free-to-play can kind of misleading at times. You know, like he said, you know, not everything has to be Candy Crush, but at the same time, you know, does it? Like, half the time, if you're not League of Legends, half the free-to-play games I play just drive me crazy with their, like, you need to buy this, you need to do that. Like, he said there's not going to be, like, energy, like you can't play another match or stuff, but, you know, I've been promised a lot from free-to-play, and I think I play one free-to-play game, and that's League. So, you know, free-to-play is an interesting model that, if your game's not ginormous, I don't know how sustainable it can be. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't even have a name yet, but they said the name was coming soon, and I'm wearing their shirt. So, go Bosskey, go make us hopefully a shooter that I can actually get behind and actually play, because I need a shooter. And as much as I try to play CSGO, it's just not going to be CSGO probably for me, so I need something else. On to day 3, we had the Gearbox panel in the morning. They showed the trailer for Tales from the Borderlands Part 2, the Telltale Borderlands series that they work on. I never played it, the first episode, or any of it, so I don't have much to say on it. They talked about Homeworld Remastered. They talked about Claptrap's DLC coming to Borderlands, the pre-sequel. That was coming out. They showed a little bit of a trailer for that. I think that's available online. I'll try to link to it if it is. They spoke... Troy Baker came out, the guy who does the voice in fucking everything now. And he was funny as fuck. Like, the whole segment of there, like, with Troy Baker and... I'm sorry, the lady who plays, I think, Fiona? Yes? Maybe? I can't remember her exact name, because she's not in every game I play, so I have not... Like, there's Nolan North and there's Troy Baker. Those are the only 2 voice actors I know the name of. But they were very funny. That whole thing was very funny. What is the last game? There was one more thing I was about to say, and then it just left my brain. Oh, Brothers in Arms. The series that has long been gone. Actually, there's been a bunch of them apparently on iPhone, I discovered yesterday. They teased when Troy Baker was out that there is possibly a sequel to, I believe, Hell's Highway? Was that the last one? I think that's the last console version. But there's a possible sequel to continue that story. I never played any of those games, although I do remember, you know, them being out and stuff. So, if you're a Brothers in Arms fan, there may be a game coming. We'll see. I don't think there was anything else that was shown other than Harmonix and their Dance Central thing. You can have the Claptrap in Dance Central, whatever the Xbox One version is called. But I don't think there was anything else there. Next panel I went to on day 3 was it was a bunch of people from different studios. Well, a bunch. There were 4 people. There were 2 people from... What is it? I want to call them Death Ray, but they're not Death Ray. They make Game of Thrones... The Game of Thrones, like, Facebook, iPhone game, and the Star Trek game. They're like... I don't know. I don't really like the games, honestly, but they were talking about, you know, how people behave in online games and just online in general, kind of like on forums and stuff, and how they yell at people. And basically, the people on the panel are like moderators of forums or community managers or like, you know, things like that. And how people need to not be assholes. And, you know, they told some funny stories of people, you know, people being assholes. And they showed like a big list of like all the things that got through like a... you know, like a filter for, like, the chat for, like, a children's game. Like, there were things that should not, like, I like to eat balls or, like, you know, other things that were in there. That they were charged with trying to break the filter, and they broke it a fair bit. But that panel was fun. I will link to the people below who did that panel. But I just kind of wanted to give that panel a shout-out. Not too much to pull from it. There was, you know... stories of bad things that happen in online and how they try to not ban, like, you know, they try to work with people, but some people just can't be worked with. And so then that's how you end up getting banned. I have never, I don't think, been banned from anything. I don't think I've ever been banned from a game or a forum or a website. Maybe, like, forever ago, but I don't think so, because I generally try to avoid arguing with people. And I don't even ban people from my YouTube channel anymore. Like, I used to ban people who were annoying in comment sections, but now I might remove the comment, but probably not unless it's telling everyone to, like, you know, come kill me at this address or something. Like, otherwise, I'm not going to remove the comment. But on to Overwatch, which is the only major game I played. It was one of the few major games on the floor at PAX East. I waited like 2 hours and some fucking odd minutes to play 10 minutes of Overwatch or so. I tried to play a bunch of the different heroes, what they're calling them. For those who don't know, Overwatch is Blizzard's first new IP in, I think, 17 years. It is going to be a first-person shooter. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a paid game. I do not believe it's going to be free-to-play, although when the guy was asked at the booth, he said that we're not sure on pricing at this point and, you know, when it's coming. They said earlier in the week, I think Friday at their panel, that the beta would start in the fall, so people could get their hands on it, you know, for a longer period of time. But I tried to play as many heroes as I could in the 10-minute period, which means I didn't spend a ton of time with any. Like, I was, you know, switching back and forth. The one I started off on Reaper, who I played probably like 2 lives with. The game is kind of similar to like, I'm gonna describe it as a MOBA in a first-person shooter. Like, people are gonna get mad at me. It's like Team Fortress 2. It's like this other game. It's okay. I never played Team Fortress 2 really, and I never played whatever other game you're about to discuss. So bear with me. But like, you have abilities on top of your gun. And for example, like, I think his shift ability, it's like, Q is like I'm going to call it an ultimate. I'm not sure what they were calling it. Shift was like a movement ability. E throws like a grenade or some similar thing. So, and then like you shoot with left click and right click for different characters had different, like, some guns had different mechanics with the right click. For example, Widowmaker, she can aim down sights, and then it charges up to like 100%, and if it's 100% power, I think it's probably a one-shot kill every time, or at least it seemed to be. She has like a sniper rifle, so, but like Reaper, his shift, he can teleport to a different location, like a target location, and like, Widowmaker, her shift is a grappling hook, so she shoots and like she'll pull herself up to a ledge, and so, you know, to start the round when we were on defense, the game mode, basically one team's on offense, one team's on defense. It's like, it's similar to Battlefield's Rush, where like you take the first, you know, you take A, and then you have to take B, and if you take B, you win the round. Like, so it like kind of moves the objective. Like, it's not like Domination in Call of Duty where A's up, B's up, and C's up at the same time. It's like you get A, then you move on to get B. We didn't go to like an overtime round. Like, it's 2 halves. Like, one time you're attacking, one time you're defending. I don't really know what happens if you get to an overtime round. So I'm not really sure how that worked. But like, when we were on defense, I went up and I was like, where can I go? And I saw like a ledge, and so I shot my grappling hook to the ledge, and then I sniped the people who are coming out the door. Like, they have to wait in a room while we set up on defense, and they came out the door, and like I sniped the people and got like 3 quick kills right off the start of the round. So, you know, like, that's how you'd use the different abilities. I didn't really spend too much time with, like, as I said, I spent time with Reaper and Widowmaker because they were 2 of my longest lives. I think the other one's like Reinhardt or something. He's like a big guy with a hammer, so he's more of a melee. Like, not everyone has a gun, so like he's more of a melee champion. He has like a big shield that he can put up. His shift, like, he charges forward and like slams into people. Like, think of like Scion ult from League of Legends if you played it. I don't know if it's quite as powerful as Scion ult, but, you know, you get the picture. I think his Q, like, knocks everyone back or, like, damages everyone in an area. You know, so there's different things, and there's different... It was hard to play there because, A, there's a bunch of different characters who do different things. It's not like just, you know, get your gun, run out, and shoot stuff. So people were a little bit more dysfunctional. You know, like, not everyone was catching on quite as quickly, so our team kind of sucked, honestly. We didn't really do well, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't like that game mode at all. I did not enjoy that game mode even a little. I suppose with like a team of people who you trusted and who knew what the game was and like knew how to play, it might have been a little bit more fun, but I, in general, did not enjoy the game mode, although I do enjoy the characters having each of their things, and I think right now there's probably like a little more than 10 characters in the game, I think. I don't have a number. I was just trying to remember the bar that you could select from. But I'm looking forward to Overwatch. Is it going to be Blizzard's next gigantic game? Probably, but that's because they're Blizzard, so anything they do will probably be gigantic. Whether or not it is the next big thing, I'm not sure. I only got to spend 10 minutes with it. It seems interesting, but, you know, playing a game like that on the PAX floor, it's like if you went up, you know, at PAX and played League of Legends, and you never heard of it, and you've never seen it, you never played it. There's 100-something champions, you don't know what any of them do, like you're going to pick one, and shit's going to happen, and you're not going to do well. So, you know, it's kind of like, it's really hard to judge that game. It's not like you went up and played Call of Duty, and you're like, oh, the guns are blah, blah, blah. Like, so, anyway, that was my PAX 2015. Overwatch I played. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to Bosskey's game that's coming out. Gearbox didn't really announce anything other than, like I said, Brothers in Arms. May have a sequel coming. Steam Controller was good. Didn't get to use Oculus, which sucks. I enjoyed my panels. Thank you to all the people who host their panels. And this has been 2015 PAX East. I will hopefully see you guys next year with a recap. More on the YouTube channel, hopefully coming soon, maybe. Hopefully the audio is fine in this, and I kept my hands in the crappie thing. Thank you. Subscribe, comment, and I will see you all later.